What's up, everybody, and welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm still at Brandon's house. Wow. And I have these three things, which I'm returning to Brandon. Brandon, which one's the trainer? You have to guess.
The trainer? Do you know?
No.
Well, so if you raise them up closer to you, I think that'll help the energy.
Oh, sure.
No,
sure.
you could tilt them.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah. Wait, here. I've got you. No, I've got you. Here. All right. Now look. Which
oh, wow,
I
can totally see. Wow. No, I'm confident. No,
that one's the trainer. Okay.
The trainer. Fuck me.
Yeah, fuck me. It was this one the whole time.
But for those that don't know, there's holes at the bottom, so that's how I was gonna.
I also have holes at the bottom. What's up, guys? Welcome to the day.
Do you want a new hole near the bottom?
Wow. Wow. So, this is the Prysma Pro. I already had my little section in the video that Brandon made ever so graciously about the Prysma Pro. Thank you, Brandon, for that.
Thank you for throwing yourself into a tree.
You're welcome. I did. Yeah. So if you saw the shot in the Prysma Pro review where so what happened is Brandon was like, I want to make a review. And, I know you've been kind of stressed recently, Will. So I want to do a review where you don't have to do that much for it. And I was like, cool, that sounds awesome. Thank you, Brandon. That's very thoughtful. So he started working on it. And then there was this gag where I get dropped into the woods and then I do a little Will Hirsch flips thing from the woods. And so it was going to be really easy for me to pull off. And then the day that I was going to do it, it ended up being a monsoon outside. And I couldn't bring my DJI, which is this camera, but at first I was like, oh man, my day is ruined. What am I going to do now that I can't do that or whatever? And then I was like, well, I have my cell phone. What if I just bring my cell phone outside and actually just record in the rain? Because it'll look more like I got dropped into the middle of the woods that way. So yeah, I just actually went outside in the rain and recorded. And for the shot of me falling out of the sky and landing on a tree, I literally just set my phone up and then found a tree. And at first I was just going to fall on the ground. I was going to jump up in the air and then fall on the ground and then animate myself so that I fall from higher. So I go, whoa, into frame or whatever. Instead, I realized that there was a tree that was definitely thin enough that I could land on it. And I was like, it would be more convincing if I landed on a tree. So then I was like, okay, well, to do that, I'm going to have to full send run and jump at this tree. So I straight up book it and jump with my body and land on this tree. And then I animated myself to be falling on it. But yeah, that was fun. So yeah, I had a great time in the woods. Yes. But I'm very proud of myself. I actually had a really good time with it. I thought my day was ruined, and then it actually brought me back to our high school days.
Yeah. That's where it all began.
Yeah, fucking around in the woods.
Roughly in the rain some of the time.
You're right. So yeah, I had a good time on this review, but the Prysma Pro is interesting. It is interesting. I honestly really like the trainer, especially. It's really nice. I think Ethan did bring up a good point about it being a little bit less comfortable, ironically, than the original.
Actually, because you haven't
grab
the original Prysma,
here we go. Okay,
you haven't felt it.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've actually flipped the original, but yeah, it is slightly less comfortable because the transition here is just a chamfer instead of an actual rounding, and so you can feel where it becomes square again. But at the same time, that does enhance the grip. It's not a bad thing, but it's not I would like it to be a little bit rounder, but at the same time, it's very good for grip. So it's a give and take. And then the face milling on it is just rougher in general, which is also, as I said, great for grip, just not the best for, user experience. Yep, that's a Prysma. Oh, he did make it better. Yeah. The Prysma still. Wait, can I? Yeah, okay, that was an all right. That was an all right one. There we go. Yeah, so the original Prysma is good, but was not my favorite for sure at the time. I think. I think I was.
Even for me at the time.
Yeah,
it's still one of my favorite trainers for sure. But it was oh, I need to completely revamp. Not completely revamp, but I need to change how I flip this.
Yeah.
Just because
It's weird.
An interesting blade.
It's weird. See, as I said in the review, like, I think that this is really nice because it enhances the Prysma in a bunch of ways that I think it needed, but at the same time, it doesn't change everything about the Prysma that made it unique. And so you get a really nice trainer that's really fun, but that's also extremely unique. Like, it isn't something that's like, oh, here's a Crackerakin again, or whatever. Yeah. You know, it's very unique and different. So, personally, really happy about it.
I know the live blade was where things got a little spicy.
Yeah, so for me, do you mind if I trade with you here for the live blade?
Well, I'm actually curious.
Oh, with the Marin live blade. Yeah, so the Marin live blade on the Prysma, I actually like it a pretty bit. What's really interesting, Brandon? This would fit on the Prysma Pro.
Yes, yeah.
They're all on the Marin platform.
Little inside scoop. So I actually had a whole line that was recorded, not even like an extra line, but a whole line recorded in the Prysma Pro review about how because I put that Marin live blade on the like Prysma Pro handles, and I had a whole thing about how I loved it and how it was awesome. I didn't have B-roll of it, and you had them.
Wow.
And so I couldn't redo it, and I didn't have time to like, hey, can I have them back so I can do this whole segment and include footage of this? So I just had to cut that mention.
Wow.
But yeah, I did do that, and it worked really well.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah. I like the Marin blade on it a lot, actually, and I have a feeling I would like it on the Pro handles a lot, too. It flips extremely well. The Marin blade has a really shockingly good momentum to it, which I think has a lot to do with, like, you can see it's got this thickness across the entire length of it, so it's just got a lot of weight that's being carried pretty evenly throughout the entire blade, which means that it flips really well. This one is different.
Quite.
God, it is so wacky. I don't know why it's so wacky, but it is. And you see, it's that aerial. It's the helix every time. Like, when you give it enough gas, it's fine. But if you try to do it slowly, it's just kind of weird, and I don't know why. I don't know what is up with it. But that was where I initially like really noticed it, was the helix aerial. And it's not bad by any means. But I did talk to Dalen about it, and they are reducing the weight. What did he say?
That is 0.1 ounces heavier than the trainer blade,
which is not insignificant in a Balisong.
Yeah, like that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a fair bit. But now, instead of 0.1 ounces heavier, I believe it's 0.04 ounces heavier.
So it's been reduced by more than half the difference in weight, which I think is good. Another thing about this one is that I noticed that the weight seems to be kind of concentrated. I would say like right around here in the middle of the blade instead of near the tip or near the bottom. It's kind of in the middle. And I noticed that sort of made fanning feel a bit weird. I've gotten more... It's just every once in a while. It's just, it like will like... I'll like start to flip it, and if I'm not paying attention, it'll just do something that I'm not expecting. And it's strange.
Well, it's interesting because I was sent them, like I was the first one to try it. And when I initially flipped the live blade, kind of what you said in the review was like, it initially felt like something was wrong.
Yeah.
But my conclusion was ultimately, no, it's good. Like, it's great. I like it.
Yeah.
But I think that's where our skill gap maybe separates that, is like, you're like, oh, it's weird. And then you try a specific trick and you're like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas I don't really have that array of tricks to be able to like feel that out. So it's like with what I was able to do, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But on that more advanced stuff, not so much.
Well, and that's the funny part, is that it isn't bad. It's just like, it's weird in a way that makes it inconsistent. Whereas the Prysma, like the Prysma Pro, is weird in a way that makes it unique, which I think is a good thing. I think that is a plus. Like being weird in a way that is different is really good in the Balisong hobby, because, like, you know, that's the whole reason you have a collection in the first place, right? But being weird in a way that is inconsistent is different. I don't like inconsistency because it makes me get cut. I actually got a pretty bad cut from this thing the other day because I was doing a helix aerial, and then it yeah, you can see the cut right there on my thumb. It like did me pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I did a helix arrow and it went right into my thumb. So yeah, which also I used my Band-Aid hack on that. I told you guys about the Band-Aid hack in the other video. Used my double skin flex plus hydrocolloid Band-Aid on that, and it has healed fantastically. Like there's a little bit of the skin on top is still cracking over, but the actual underlying cut is like fantastic. It healed great. So yeah. What's that, Brandon?
This is, so you were describing, that's weird but good.
Yeah.
That is weird but pretty good.
Yeah.
Ish.
Like with a small adjustment, this would be great.
Yeah, this is weird.
That is weird.
Period.
So what that is...
I don't mind, again, with my less advanced level of flipping.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind it, and the sound really is like... As somebody that historically doesn't really like rings, I actually find this one like really pleasing. I prefer a handle ring far more than a blade ring.
Yeah, because it goes away when you grip it.
Yeah.
And usually it's deeper too.
Yes,
blade rings are very dingy, whereas this one's more ringy.
Interesting board.
The funny part about this one is that actually part of me dislikes it less than this one, but only because it commits to being blade heavy. It's like... at least I know how to flip a blade heavy knife. And so like, at least with it, it's not in this weird middle ground of like not quite being what I expect. So this one, if anything, it's funny because it's more consistent. It's just consistent in a way that I don't actually like, but it's more consistent to flip. Whereas this one is just inconsistent feeling because it's like at such a, it's like at the tipping point, right? Where there's like a scale and like over here is blade biased and over here is handle biased, and like it is so close, it's too neutral in a way, maybe.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, this thing it's not good in my opinion. Like the speed channel version, which to be clear, what Dalen told me is that the speed channel version he was forced to make by his employees. Because his employees asked him to make a speed channel version, and then he finally obliged, apparently. But as you can see, it removes a ton of material from the handles, which means that they are way lighter than the previous version, which means that the problems with the blade being slightly heavier are only amplified in this version.
And it's such a big channel, it's like, it's closer to being sandwich.
Yeah, it's really almost like faux sandwich. Yeah.
But like you do still have like that bit of material at the top and the bottom. So it's not, but that's just such a big channel.
It's massive.
That it might as well just be sandwich.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. So Dalen already told us, as we said before, he adjusted these blades, and I think that the new version will be really good. I'm excited to get a prototype of that. I also didn't realize these are the only prototypes of these that exist.
Yeah.
Dalen, the other day, he was like, oh yeah, I remember that thing being weird to flip. And I was like, what do you mean you remember? And he's like, well, you have the only ones that exist. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, because I was bringing up
Thanks, Dalen.
I asked him for a Prysma Pro, and then he was like, well, we're making a live blade. I'm like, well, I'm going to need that then. He's like, we actually haven't made it yet, but I could send you the ones that we make. I was like, oh, you'll send me like one of them? He's like, no, I'll send you the two that we have. So, like, okay. And
thanks,
to this
Dalen.
day, they have yet to make more.
God damn it.
They
it's so
designed
funny.
the new blade, I believe it. At this current stage, at the time of recording.
Yes, there is a design for the updated version of this blade, which is, I do like the spear point profile on this blade. I'm going to go to somewhere where it has like nice lighting that I can show y'all. But my camera's running out of battery, so I'm going to try to be quick with the rest of this. But this spear point design is nice. I like it more than the Nucha, the new Lucha, the Lucha 2, the Nucha spear point, because like even though you can't really tell which side is the bite side when it's closed, you also can, because this little dip here. The thing that I like about this spear point is that it is, non-symmetrical. Yes. So even though it is symmetrical at the point, the actual like profile of the blade is non-symmetrical, so it's a lot easier to tell at a glance which side is going to be the bite side and which isn't. And so I haven't really felt at all while flipping, even at speed, like I'm confused as to which side is which. which is nice. You know, I do appreciate that. So yeah, Brandon, can you hand me the knives, and I'm gonna do the outro. Yeah. Oh yeah, so many. Oh good. Oh good. Oh great. Oh great.
You said you want the knives.
All the machine-wise knives. Thanks for what? Fuck.
Yeah. Look at that machine-wise knife. That's the
wait,
sandwich.
Don't help me.
Of the Prysma
Definitely
Pro.
don't help me with this. Okay, cool. Anyways, but yeah, that's pretty much just it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Huge thanks to my patrons, which I never say on this channel because I'm doing an outro to our main videos right now for some reason. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Yeah, peace.
Do that with the things you own.
I'm such a bad person.